My name is Aline, and I was a virgin until I got married. And this is why. Ever since I was a little girl, people always said to me, "Don't have sex." I heard people say, "Here is a piece of gum." Then they would chew it and spit it out. "Do you want this piece of gum now that it's chewed?" They would compare sex to chewing gum. That nobody wants you once you're chewed up and used. You lose your value. It seemed like whether I did this one thing or not would define me completely. But why? Why is everybody so obsessed with virginity? And why isn't it a big problem for men as well? In many societies, the more people you have sex with, the less valued you are. That is, if you're a woman. But if you're a man and have sex, people say,
"Oh, come on. Boys will be boys. It's not a big deal."
In fact, in many cultures around the world, if you're not a virgin, you can't get married. And sometimes your life might even be in danger. Here's why. A long time ago, there were no condoms, no birth control pills. So if you had sex, you were very likely to get pregnant. And men wanted to make sure that the baby was really their baby, to carry on their bloodline. So they would marry a virgin. Women were seen as property, like an animal or like land. And that's how virginity became a way of controlling women that is still used to this day. In some parts of the world, parents check the bed sheets after the wedding night to make sure there is blood. Doctors would do virginity tests before marriage, all to make sure that the bride was actually a virgin, because otherwise the families would call off the wedding.
Some family members wait whole night out of the room, and the next day they proudly show the blood to everyone that the bride was virgin.
So I grew up in a very conservative religion. I saved myself for marriage, and then guess what? When I got married, I had so much shame around sexuality that I couldn't even have sex. Because of these thoughts putting so much shame and this pressure around sexuality and being a woman. It's getting so crazy that in some cultures, women who have had sex feel forced to get plastic surgery on their private parts to make them look as virgin-like as possible. And the discrimination doesn't end there. For women who are not virgins in Morocco, it can be very hard to get married. In the island of Kiribati, you could be disowned. And until last year in Indonesia, you could not join the army. Over 5,000 women a year are killed in honor killings for not being a virgin and for bringing shame to their families, when the only people who should be ashamed are the ones killing women. But this video is not about virgins. It's about double standards and how we are always trying to control women. We tell girls to save themselves for marriage, but we encourage guys to do the exact opposite. I want to say here and now that a woman's virginity is not important. It does not matter, and it does not define her. Women are so much more than their sexuality. They are their talents, their careers, their families, their personalities. So I really feel like what we need to do in this world is change how we're talking about sex. I totally think it's okay to not have sex if you don't want to, but what I think is not okay is when other people are forcing these decisions on you, are forcing the shame on you, when it's happening only to women and not to men. That's where the problems really lie. But some countries are taking steps in the right direction. Like in France, India, or Pakistan, where the governments are taking steps to ban virginity tests and are even considering jail time for doctors who do these tests on women. It will take a lot more than a few laws to change how society views women, but we have to start somewhere. My hope is that someday soon, a woman is defined not by her virginity, but by who she is. And that starts with me, and that starts with you.